Hey guys, Reginald Duck here, back today with another deck profile. So for today I've got a really cool Utopia list. It focuses on playing through hand traps, so you don't just want to lose like a one of Ash or whatever, so let's get into it. So for the main deck we've got 3 copies of ZS Ascended Sage. This is one of the best starters in the deck. If you control no cards you can special summon it from your hand. When it's used as a material for a Utopia monster you get to add a rank up magic. So make sure it's a Utopia, not a Utopic, because it will not search. It's a really cool card, also searchable off Reinforcement of the Army, or the Utopic Sage can actually summon this from the deck. So if you don't draw it, don't worry. You've got 3 copies of ZS Armed Sage. It's like that one, but worse. If you control only one monster, then you can special summon this. So it works really well with the Armed Sage. It has an effect when it's made into a Utopia again, but this one searches a ZW card. So you don't want to add the Pegasus because it will not get its effect to summon, because it can't attach itself from hand, whereas the Tornado Bringer can. So you just want to search Tornado Bringer, give yourself some protection from targeting, can help you play through hand traps, but also can make your end board stronger. Got 2 copies of Utopic Onomatopoeia. This card is really cool. It's always treated as Zubaba, Onomata, all of the archetypes, you know, that sound horrible to say. So basically, it's always treated as all of them. And you can summon this and then summon one of each type from your hand, and then it's just really cool. It's also treated as an Onomat, so you can search it off the Onomata pickup, I think it is, yeah. So 2 copies of that. Got 3 copies of Zubabagnacho, something or other. Basically Gagagako. It's really good. So you can summon this card if you control one of the other types that the Onomatopoeia is from hand, and also this can reborn the Onomatopoeia from graveyard. It's really important sort of part of the combo. Really cool card. Got the 3 glove, which is the one that you start with. So you'd summon this and then use this effect to summon the coat from hand. And then this has an effect where if you control the Utopic Onomatopoeia, basically, in this deck, you can summon this back for free, but it gets banished when it leaves the field. So, really cool card. Lots and lots of combo extensions, so really helps you to get to your 2 rank 4s that you'd ideally want. 3 copies of Astraltopia. This card is unsearchable, so you want to play as many as you can. It's a really good card, so basically you can send a card you control or from your hand to the graveyard to search for numbers protection in this deck. There's loads of other stuff you can search, but I just play the protection. And then if you control XYZ, you can just special summon it. So it just makes your end board a lot stronger while also being an extender, and can get rid of like a dead Onomata pickup on your field. So really cool. Or it can send the Ascended Sage as well once you've used that. Then you got your 2 ZWs. You got the Tornado Bringer and the Twin Saber. This card's terrible to draw. This one's not so bad to draw, but this card is actually better. So you don't have to play this, but I am playing the Armed Sage, so I figured I might as well have something to search off it. So really cool, both of them. This card is insane. It's a continuous effect, so it can just negate without starting a chain. Really cool. And then onto your hand traps, you're playing a lot of one-offs, so you can play the Crossout. So 1 Nibiru, the Primal Being. You really don't want to get Nibiru. If you have you can make a Rafflesia, which helps play around this, but otherwise, even your end board loses to Nibiru, literally end of main phase Nibiru. So you really need to sort of be able to play around it. A lot of the time, if I do have the Crossout, I won't set it at the end of the turn. I'll literally just keep it in hand in case of like, you know, end of main phase Nibiru. If you have to set the Crossout, then you're going to lose. So really good to play around this. 1 copy of Effect Veiler. Again, you just don't want to get any of your starters stopped. You certainly don't want your rank up magic search not going through, because that would be pretty devastating. You'd probably just end on a Utopia. So really cool card. I'm on Ghost Ogre. Again, if you activate the effects of the Utopia to search, and then they Ghost Ogre you, I mean, you don't have a Utopia anymore, so there's nothing to rank up. And then 2 copies of Ash. I just think it's a bit better than the others. So you certainly don't want to get Ashed, but also I just wanted to have a few extra hand traps, so I am playing the 2 copies. Really cool card. Stops a lot of your combos, like especially the search for the rank up magic or the summon from deck off the Ascended Sage, so you certainly don't want to get Ashed. 3 copies of Crossout. This card is like MVP because you just don't want to get hand trapped at all, because the engine itself can't really play through any, except if you open like a God hand and then you can make the Rafflesia. but otherwise you'd just rather have this in your hand, as well as obviously a Called by the Grave. So 3 copies. 3 copies of Onomat Pickup. You can add any Onomat card, of which you play 2. You play Para and you play the Utopic Onomatopoeia. Activate it, it's a continuous searches, one of them 2, and then you can always send this for the Utopia to search a card, because it just stays on your field forever, so you don't want to get rid of it. It does have an effect on field about level changing, but it never comes up from playing all level 4s. Got 3 Onomatopoeia. This card is kind of awkward in a way, because depending on who you ask, it depends on what it can search. Some people say it can add the Utopic Onomatopoeia and another card, some people say it can't. On Master Duel you can add an Onomatopoeia and then any of the other 2, but the rulings page is really awkward, because it can only add 1 of each type, and Onomatopoeia is all types, but I believe you can add Onomatopoeia and 1 other, to the best of my knowledge. Got 1 copy of Hyper Rank Up Magic Utopia Force. You only need the 1 copy because it is very searchable. If you draw it, it's not a problem, but you would rather search it 'cause it's just an extra free card. So basically you can rank up your Utopia into the Dragon Ra, and then when the Dragon Ra summons stuff out of the extra deck, this actually attaches itself from graveyard, so the stuff you summon in can actually use its effect. It's just a really cool spell card. 1 Called by the Grave, because hand traps are horrible to face. You'd rather just banish it, not have to worry about it. And then if you do go full combo, obviously it can't stop Nibiru, so you're a lot more comfortable just setting this, at the end of your combo, whereas if you did that on the crossout you might just lose to Nibiru. So 1 Called by, 1 Reinforcement of the Army. It's just whatever you need, so I mean there's not really much to say. It can add pretty much any card in the deck, any star or any sort of extender. 1 copy double or nothing. It's just literally, you're playing a Utopia deck, why would you not play the double? Because it's a really easy OTK, especially for the second turn. If you've set up your big board, negated a few things, it broke a bit of your board, rank 4, win the game. So really cool card. Then onto the traps, we've got 1 copy of Gravedigger's Trap Hole. So the Rafflesia can just sort of play through any hand trap at this point. So if you've got a good hand and you already don't, usually you can make 2 rank 4s. So you'd either go for the the Armed Sage if you needed to get the Ascended Sage from deck, but if you've already got it, you could just make a Rafflesia just in your extra monster zone. Just, play around the first hand trap or whatever it is. Make sure you don't get Nibiru'd. So really great card. 1 copy of Numbers Protection. You can search it off the Utopia. It gives you a different type of negation, because obviously it's a trap. You don't just get dropleted and lose straight away. It can also negate Dark Ruler, and it's just a lot more versatile being an Omni Negate, and then it can actually reset itself with its effect, if a number is destroyed, I believe it is. So, but then it'll get banished. So it is actually a 2-for, really good card. And lastly, we've got the 1 copy of Infinite Impermanence, because you are playing Crossout again, so it's still an extra hand trap. It's not bad if you draw it, but also you really don't want to get impermed. It's just one of those cards that obviously you can't cross out it, so you just want to be able to stop it. That's the 40th card as well, so that's it for the main deck. And then onto the extra deck, we've got 2 copies of number 39 Utopia. Really cool card. Obviously, it's the protagonist boss monster in Zexal. It's just one of them you need for the combo, and then the other one you use for the double or nothing. So it is good to play 2, but you don't technically have to, but it makes things run a lot smoother. So 2 Utopia, 1 C39 Utopia Ray. It could either be Utopia Ray or Utopia Prime. I've gone for Ray, so it literally just put it on top of your Utopia after searching the rank up magic, because then it gives you an extra material for the Dragon Ra, giving it 4 rather than 3, so you can activate its effect twice. So 1 Utopia Ray, 1 Utopia Double. Obviously, if you just need to, you can just get games straight away, so really cool card. I don't make it that often, but it does come up and you would like to have it. 1 copy of the ZS Utopic Sage. Just summon this, get the Ascended Sage from deck, so you'd actually need 3 level 4s to be able to do full combo, 2 to make this, and then 1 has the extra guy with the Utopic Sage to make Utopia. If you've already got the Ascended Sage, then you're totally fine. And also it can summon like a ZW Pegasus from deck in super niche scenarios. If you did need to summon it from deck, then equip it. Don't see why you would, but you know, hand traps make the game really complicated, so you might need to. And then also it can banish itself from field or graveyard to protect one of your XYZ light warriors, I think it is, from destruction. So really cool. And one Ga Magician, a lot of Gars. Really cool card, good for making extra plays if you can OTK on like on your second turn. So you make this, you summon back the Utopic Sage, then you can just make a free Utopic Draco Future. Again, really cool card. Has an effect when it's made into a Draco Future, but you probably never use it. Can negate its effects to make its attack bigger. Kind of rubbish, but it's just a sort of one card, well, 2-card Utopic Future. One copy of the Rafflesia. It's really good for playing through hand traps. If you don't need to go into the Ascended Sage, the Utopic Sage, sorry, you just summon this and then obviously not have to worry about hand traps, or at least the first one. So really cool. And then also, if they don't have a hand trap, for example, it's still a negate in their turn, so you can negate any card that activates in hand or graveyard or banished, I believe. So really cool. One copy of the Stealth Kraken. Sometimes if you don't know what your opponent's playing, you'd rather summon the Titanic Galaxy, but there's some decks where Titanic Galaxy is just not good against, so you'd rather just have like a sort of non-targeting destruction. That's a quick effect. Also, making all the guys water can screw up some decks sometimes, so it's a really cool card. You don't play any of the other guy, the other Kraken, the smaller one, so its float effect doesn't work, but it's still a free pop and an attribute change. One copy of Abyss Dweller. It's just a really strong card. If you can make an extra rank 4, you might want to make the Dweller because it's such an oppressive card against certain decks. Sometimes if you know you're facing a graveyard like really heavy combo deck, you might just make this rather than the Utopia combo, because honestly this card is insane. I've done that a few times. It didn't work too well, but you know, I was going to lose anyway if the guy had like 100 extenders. So really cool. Got a Utopic Future, and then obviously let's go on top, Utopic Draco Future. It doesn't come up that much. It's quite easy to make with the Ga Magician, but most of the time I will just try and kill someone with Utopia double. So really cool. You got the one Ultimate Leo Utopia Ray. Really cool card. Basically you cheat it out of the Dragon Ra, gets a material to attach, you attach the Pegasus, and then this gets a negate when it's got a card equipped to it, like a ZW. So it's got its own negate where it just negates a face-up monster and then reduces its attack, and you've got the continuous effect negate as well. So it's a twofer. Really cool card. You've got the one Titanic Galaxy, same as the Kraken, it's just the one you summon in their turn. So and obviously it gets a material as well, so it can protect from battle. If you don't want them attacking over certain stuff, you can sort of lightning rod towards this, and then it'll gain another material when you steal their spell card. So it's a really strong effect. Obviously it's massive as well, so that's good. Got one Utopia Dragon Ra. This is the reason to play the deck. When it comes out after your combo, it's got 4 materials. Summon the Leo Utopia Ray in your turn, summon the Titanic Galaxy or the Kraken in their turn, and then you can also summon like gimmicky stuff like Heart Earth Dragon, but that card is way too expensive, so I didn't bother because it's actually not that good. But it's a really cool card. You can basically summon whatever you want. Choose your own ending board, basically. Any number card that, I think it's between 1 and 100, something like that, something crazy. Most of them are rubbish, a few good ones. Really cool card. Also it can reduce the attack of attacking monsters. You'll have like little extra effects, you know, that are kind of useful sometimes. So that's that. And lastly, got the one copy of Divine Arsenal, Double A Zeus Sky Thunder. Great name, rolls off the tongue. Just in a sort of simplified game state, you can just summon this and just win, because this card is obscenely good. So you don't make it all the time, you just make it when you're losing and then you win. So really cool. If you can't quite get lethal, you'll just sort of summon this with usually 2 materials, but possibly up to 4. So a really cool card. Non-targeting, send, not even once per turn. Broken. Love this card. So that's it for the extra deck. And onto the side deck, we've got 3 copies of Artifact Lancier. Really good against like your hard combo decks, because you don't want to get wombo comboed. So you just rather, you know, stop them doing whatever they're doing. There's not really any counterplay to it unless they negate it, you know. But if you just shotgun this, they're probably gonna just have a subpar turn, which is what you want, because then you can OTK them. 2 copies of Nibiru, so that'll then max out at 3 copies. Again, you just don't want to get wombo comboed. Really cool. 1 Veiler. The fact you don't have to chain it directly to the target is really good, so it can just sort of blank stuff that otherwise could be chain blocked. Really cool. 1 Ash. You are playing the 3rd copy because it's such an impactful hand trap, and also if you don't know what to put in but you need more hand traps, this is good against most rogue decks. If you don't really understand your opponent's deck because it's something too crazy, just ash them. There's always something to ash. 2 Infinite Impermanence, same as Veiler except harder to stop. Just the fact that it doesn't need to respond directly to it like a Ghost Girl, and also you can't call by the grave bit. Really great card. You can also blank Floodgates if you need to, you know, by obviously setting it in front of them. 3 Dark Ruler No More, really good card. Can't afford Droplet, but it still does the job great. Just obviously negate the board, destroy the board, set up your own negate board. And then 2 Cosmic. Banishing, it's obviously a little bit better than destroying, but then also taking 1,000 sometimes isn't the worst thing, because if you've already took a bit of damage you can actually special summon the Pegasus from hand, which comes up occasionally. So if you are 2,000 less than your opponent, you can just summon the Pegasus and then attach it from field. So really cool. And then lastly, got the 1 copy Harpy's Feather Duster. This card is absolutely broken. You want to draw it all the time, go second, Duster, win. So that's it for the side deck. So this has been my Utopia deck profile. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.